What's going on, my friends? You know who this is, back in the saddle again. Today I'm going to be responding to Samantha Cudnohufsky and some comments she made about the abortion issue. She seems very nice and brought up some general pro-choice points while I'm making this video in response to show where she goes wrong. And so without further ado, let's go!
Many people will say that abortion's murder because it's an unborn child who has no choice in whether or not they're being born, because they believe that life begins at conception, or just for a number of reasons. There's so many.
For those of you who watch my channel regularly, you'll see that I often present scientific references of human life beginning at conception. This isn't some mere belief, but what science clearly tells us. For her benefit, and for the benefit of those who may be new viewers to this channel, I have some references in the description.
And while any reason not to have an abortion is great for a person to choose for themselves, it's not really good or valid reason to outlaw them altogether.
In many pro-choice arguments, the pro-choicer constantly frames the argument about what is subjectively beneficial for the person making the choice. But if this is a crucial part, or all of what is the pro-choice position is about, then is she prepared to say abortion should be legal the entire pregnancy before the child is born for any reason, even potentially up to one date before she's due? Only the more consistent pro-choicer will argue that, as long as the unborn is inside her, she should be able to get a termination at any point in pregnancy for any reason. However, it is not unusual to find pro-choicers who would disagree a woman should be able to have that right to a termination for any reason she says, and at any point in pregnancy. I wonder how she would respond to that point.
When a person chooses to have an abortion, it's because the pregnancy is unwanted for some reason. It could be an accidental pregnancy, it could be a health concern for themselves or for the fetus.
I find it very interesting when a lot of pro-choicers like to conflate the pro-choice argument into an issue about health, but as soon as you press many about how long a woman should be able to make that choice in pregnancy, then they retreat back to mere choice, not health at all. For as I just said, it's not unusual to find pro-choicers against elective terminations at literally any point in pregnancy. So does the health argument go out the window then? And for the pro-choicers who do claim a woman should be able to get an abortion even at the latest points for elective reasons, then they aren't talking about their health at that point either. The argument from health is nothing more than a smokescreen.
There's so many reasons not to have a child and not to carry to term. And when you take away that a person's right to decide if they're going to terminate a pregnancy, you put them in the position of either having to carry a fetus to term and decide what happens once it's born. Once the fetus is born and becomes a child.
This is something else a lot of pro-choicers have issues defining when you press them. They say the unborn becomes a child. Does that mean there is no child one day before birth? Is there no child if a woman is in mid-delivery and only the head is visible? Does the entire body have to be delivered before a child exists? What does become a child even mean?
Once they're born, what are they going to do? Are they going to raise it? Are they going to give it up for adoption and put it into the foster system where they have to fight to be adopted?
Okay, here's the thing. That's a little something called life, and there are going to be struggles which come with it. What a lot of pro-choicers like to do is stack on a plethora of potential struggles and issues in life, as if the more they are able to stack, the more likely their argument for killing is magically justifiable. These are simply nothing more than red herrings, which act as nothing more than smokescreens.
And when these laws are made against abortion, they put people in position to seek much riskier ways of aborting a fetus. There are legal abortions anywhere, like there's places to get them, searching for pills online or any sort of black market, or just risky behaviors that would end up in the child's or the fetus's death.
I find it very interesting when you have pro-choicers talking about a woman could potentially seek more dangerous ways to get abortions if made illegal as a reason to keep abortions legal. However, if you talk about the potential a woman could regret her abortion and potentially cause her emotional damage based on a choice she cannot undo, then they say that's not a reason to make abortions illegal. And so Why does the potential a woman can do something more dangerous mean abortion should stay legal, but the potential a woman can regret her decision does not mean abortion should be made illegal? If the pro-choicer responds by saying that it doesn't mean all women regret their abortions, then we can easily respond back by saying that it doesn't mean all women would do more unsafe things should abortion be made illegal. So again, why does one negative potential mean a reason abortion should stay legal, but the other negative potential does not equate to a reason to make abortions illegal?
It's actually safer to abort a fetus than it is to give birth. The chances of death from abortion is 0.6 in 100,000, while the chance of death from pregnancy is 8.8 in 100,000.
First of all, any data which claims abortion is safer than childbirth is based on nothing more than conjecture, at least if you're talking about the United States, considering that in the United States, there is no federal requirement to report abortion data. So, any available data which claims abortion is safer than childbirth is based on nothing more than conjectural assumptions. And second, even if there was proof that abortion is safer than childbirth, that would not show that killing the unborn is morally justifiable. Perhaps taking an abortion pill at the very early stages of pregnancy could be safer than childbirth, but does that mean it's morally justifiable to deliberately kill the unborn? Not even close. If nothing else, it's an argument to continue pursuing advances in medicine to make pregnancy as safe as possible for women, not an argument to justify killing the unborn. This is simply yet another smokescreen.
Which may not seem like a really big difference, but it is. It's over, 8 math. I think it's an important issue because this takes away a person's bodily autonomy and it forces them to carry an unwanted fetus to term, or, like I said before, finding ways of terminating it. And this issue affects any person that is capable of bearing children, as well as those impregnating them. It's a complex issue. It is a complex issue that definitely goes beyond allowing or not allowing abortions, because the person having an abortion has someone else who was part of creating that, putting the fetus in them and making them pregnant, and that affects both people. But if you take away that person's right to choose whether or not they want to carry that pregnancy, you're taking away their bodily autonomy.
Instead of giving the usual responses which easily debunk the bodily autonomy argument, I just want to ask a question. Why only bodily autonomy to justify killing? Why not financial autonomy to justify not buying food for children and letting them starve to death? Why not property autonomy to justify throwing children out into the street? Why do pro-choicers limit their argument to only a bodily autonomy to justify killing, but they don't want to justify other clearly twisted things under the guise of quote-unquote autonomy? An interesting question, I think, indeed.
And so while it is a complex issue, I think it's important to allow it. And if we don't, we're doing a great disservice to everyone, because if you don't allow it, there's so many reasons not to carry a baby.
She hasn't really argued for any reasons at all. She's just made a bunch of assertions. But there is a difference between not wanting to carry a baby and actually killing one. If you don't want to carry a baby, don't do things which is going to result in getting pregnant in the first place. If you don't want to take that risk that your birth control can fail and that you may get pregnant, then you shouldn't have sex to begin with. And that's just the bottom line.
But I'd like to know from you, if abortion's illegal, what laws, or since it is legal, what laws would you like to see around abortion? Like, in addition to being allowed, like, is there any specific laws you'd like to see added on as it's allowed, but, or, here's something you should do ahead of time? Do you have any arguments for or against them that I haven't listed?
I have plenty of arguments against abortion, but I think only one needs to be made. You're killing a baby. No matter how much you try to pretend you're not, you are. Then that's just the bottom line. And I can actually back that up. But if she'd be so willing, I'd love to have a conversation with her about this. And we'll see if we can possibly make that happen. I'm posting this video onto her channel, and I would love for her to accept and see if we can possibly set something up. But other than that, this is the end of the video, folks. As always, thanks for watching. Please like this video, share it, and please subscribe. Until then, take care, God bless, deuces.